What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Plant. Today I'm going to show you how to take your spider plant, make it produce seed, and then how to grow more spider plants from that seed. Let's check it out.
Alright, so here is my overgrown spider plant, and you can see there's a lot of babies, and I will do a propagation video about that separately, but I also want to show you guys how to get babies from seeds. Now, in order to actually get seeds from your plant, you're going to have some active flowers. Usually once these get pretty big, they start to flower a lot, and then they produce their own little like baby offspring, but we're going to get seeds this way. Alright, so this step is actually probably one of the easier steps. What you're going to do, well maybe it's not that easy, and tweezers might actually help. I was able to do this both ways with my fingers and a tweezers, but you're going to break off the little pollen parts, and you're going to put that on the center of the flower. And to be a little more scientifically accurate, the actual stamen is going to be the part with the little pollen on the end, and that's going to be that little orange bit, and the stigma is going to be the center part, which you're going to put the pollen onto. The stamen being the actual pollen part, and the stigma being the female part. The stigma is pretty sticky, so as you rub the pollen on there, it should stick, but do look really closely and make sure, because if you don't get any pollen on there, you will not get any seeds. Skipping ahead a little bit, if you did successfully pollinate, you'll notice that the flower starts to die and wither away. However, a tiny little green kind of 3-cloved thing starts to appear right at the base of where the flower was growing. As the days pass, you'll notice it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the flower should totally wither and pretty much drop off, leaving the 3 little cloved club sort of thing hanging on the end. This one is actually a little big, and I want to cut it open just to see how far along the seeds are, but normally I wouldn't pick them at this size. But let's have it open and take a look. After tearing into it, I can see the black seeds. I don't know if these are quite yet viable, but they do look pretty good to me, and they look like what they look like when they're pretty mature, honestly. So I would bet these would work, but just to be on the safe side, you should wait. At almost about a month away from the original pollination, we can start to actually see the black seeds forming inside of the little green pods. They're getting pretty close to where you could actually take it, but I'm still going to wait a little longer. I like to wait until the stuff starts to kind of dry out, and then it pops out pretty easily, and I don't have to really dig or try and pull it apart. Here's what they look like after a little more time has passed. You can see that it's a little more clear and transparent, and it's just tan and more dry. It's not green and juicy anymore, and at this point I would say the seeds are ready to go and ready to be planted. So for this step, I'm just going to use some looser potting soil. It doesn't have to be anything special for these guys. Spider plants are pretty easy to grow from what I can tell, and they do well in pretty much any environment. Some people grow these things in water full time and just in all types of substrate. I'm not too concerned with spacing because I do want this to be a super full pot when I finally get this to like where I want it to be. So I just spread the seeds out pretty evenly to try and give them some space so they can start growing on their own, and then I covered them with about a ½ inch of soil and got it all nice and wet. Then I just found some used piece of plastic, put it over so it's got some humidity in there and it doesn't dry out super fast. Then I just put it under some grow lights and waited to see what would happen. After about 20 days, I did notice some sprouts starting to come up, and I was super excited because I really didn't think it would take this long to actually germinate, but they did. So don't give up and lose hope if they don't germinate right away. These seem to take quite some time to germinate. Maybe we would see it go a little faster if we took them out of the little green pods because the seeds might be a little fresher. I don't know, but that's worth experimenting with in the future. Alright, about another 20 days has passed, and you can see they have really grown quite a bit. Once they actually germinate, they really start to grow quickly, which is nice. And they are starting to take on the form of a spider plant. However, if you've noticed, there is no variegation like the mother plant had. That's because the actual variegated plants we're seeing in the stores are all made via propagation and not through seeds. Alright, another month has passed and they are getting a lot taller. These almost remind me of like corn or grass or something. They do look a little funny, and without the variegation, they look a little different. But I'm glad that they don't have variegation only because I've already got a million variegated spider plant babies, so it's nice to have some variety, and it's really cool to grow these from seed. They're really starting to thicken up and take a lot of shape now, which I'm glad, and I'm really going to have a full pot when I get these all potted up in the future. Alright, we are at 3 months since we planted these seeds, and they are looking fantastic. I really like how thick they're starting to get, and they're going to be one heck of a planter. What I'm most excited for is upgrading the pot a little bit in the future, and then when they all start to put out the vines with the flowers and babies, it'll have almost a skirt of babies around the entire pot. I think it's going to be really awesome. I might mix these with some of the variegated babies just to get a more dynamic planter, and I'm just super excited overall about growing these from seed. It was a lot of fun.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I thought it was really cool to produce my own seed from my plant and grow a newer, different variety, well at least a non-variegated type of my spider plant. I thought it was pretty cool to do that and see the whole process, and I hope you guys did too. As always, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I will see you next time.